Today we're going to go over how to check diagnostic trouble codes when you have a check engine light or mill light that offers you the ability. Some engines have this ability, some do not. Some you've got to use a scan tool, some you've got to use a diagnostic program. So we're going to try and cover many different ones. Some automobiles do the same system in how to make the mill light blink a trouble code for you. So certain manufacturers always go to the repair manual to find out how to check diagnostic codes, how that's done, whether it's a program only or as simple as turning the key on, on, leaving it on the third time like we're going to do on this engine. So we're going to on, off, on, off, on. We're going to watch the light. We have to count the blinks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short pause. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So we had a code 0032. Long pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short pause. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And then we're going to start to repeat the trouble codes. We'll get to end of message code 61. So this particular engine has 2 trouble codes in it. 0032 and 0352. The 61 just means an end of message. So now it's going to continue to repeat itself. When they repeat, it's always good to go through it, count it a second time, make sure that is the codes that you have. Codes are good, but codes only get you so far. What you do with the trouble code, you go to the repair manual for that particular engine manufacturer. You go into the troubleshooting diagnostics of the repair manual, you break down the code. It doesn't mean that this component is bad. What it means is the computer cannot control this particular component. Typically, the components themselves don't have a lot of failures. Most of the time, you're going to be into the plug connectors, the wiring, a loose connector at the ECU. But it's going to detect a code 0352, which is an ignition coil code, or 0032, which is a temperature code of the oxygen sensor. It's actually the heating circuit. So the repair manuals will break it down. The neat thing about the trouble codes, using a 4-digit code just like they do in the automotive industry, is that code means the same thing whether you're working on a Dodge truck, whether you're working on a GM automobile, whether you're working on an air-cooled engine. As long as they're using the ASE standard or the SAE standards for trouble codes, they're going to be the same code throughout. So your basic principles, if you understand what those 4-digit codes are, it'll get you to a point of knowing where to look. Now again, this just gets you to an area to look. Just because I have an oxygen sensor code does not mean that oxygen sensor is bad. If you get a trouble code that tells you the oxygen sensor is at its adaptive limit, usually that's a fuel-related problem. I can't get enough fuel or I'm over-fueling. Too many times we'll see somebody get a trouble code out. It relates to the oxygen sensor, they'll throw one in, problem's still there. So just be aware, these codes get you to the area of where you need to do further testing. So that's just a quick and easy way of reading the trouble codes. You have to follow each manufacturer's procedures on how to get rid of the trouble codes after you do the repair. The repair has to be done, the code has to be erased, then the engine run to see if the code comes back. The way you find out if the code comes back, if the light comes on while the engine's running, it means that the code has set. Go back in, cycle your keys, do whatever your repair manual tells you to do to get to those blink codes.